Next up at UFC 301, we have the main card opener. We have Paul Craig taking on Caio Borralho. And this is one of several fights on this main card with some pretty wide odds that are moving quite quickly. Just the other day, Caio Borralho was minus 400, minus 450. He is already minus 600. And I can understand that. But first, we've got Paul Craig, 17-7 overall, 2-3 in his last 5, coming off that submission loss to Brendan Allen to make his middleweight record 1-1. He's taking on Caio Borralho, 15-1 overall, 5-0 in his last 5. He is on a 14-fight win streak. And this is a grappler versus grappler matchup. Paul Craig's a very dangerous grappler. He's proven to be incredibly tough. He does get finished, but he doesn't go out like a quitter. He hangs in there and he fights. He's never out of a fight. He has more than one win, including over the number 1 light heavyweight contender, Magomed Ankalaev, where he was getting his face bashed in, losing that fight. Are you looking for some acknowledgement from me? Okay, good job. Hey, sit. Where he was getting his face bashed in and then submitted Magomed Ankalaev with, I think, quite literally like 1 second left to win that fight. And it just goes to how dangerous he is, how good his jiu-jitsu is, and that he can take a beating. Striking is just okay. He's got a little bit of power in there, but his striking is just okay. His biggest issue, though, is that even though he's a very good wrestler, a very good grappler, he doesn't necessarily have the wrestling skills to get it to the ground when he wants to. He can be finished on the ground as well, but he is also quite dangerous. Taking on Caio Borralho, this guy's a slick grappler himself. Solid submissions, well-timed takedowns. He's got a really long karate-style stance, very loose on his feet, where he's going to bounce around and then explode into double legs. He has judo belts. He has jiu-jitsu belts. And people are going to say, judo, he's got all the belts. He can toss you. He can submit you. He will out-grapple you. And he's quietly becoming a very good prospect. This is the first fight where the odds are pretty wide on him. His last couple of fights, the odds were somewhat close. But he just continues to win these fights. He's coming off the decision win over Abus Magomedov, where he had a knockdown and only attempted one single takedown. I'm on the Caio Borralho side. I do think he wins. I don't think Paul Craig is... He's dangerous. Craig. He's certainly a dangerous grappler, but he's not going to out-grapple Caio Borralho. He's not going to catch Caio in something. He's not going to win this fight. Caio Borralho is going to win this fight. But there is, I don't know what it is, but there is just something about Caio Borralho I don't fully trust. I don't know what it is. We haven't seen him make like blatant mistakes. I don't know if it's this or what, but there's just something about him I don't fully trust. I do think he wins here. Paul Craig is... And people are going to hate this, but Paul Craig is a bit overrated, and I don't think he wins this fight. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, Ryan. I mean, Paul Craig is I've said before, I used to be a 205, right now he's a 185. Everybody said he was the 205 Ryan Hall. Right now he's a 185 Ryan Hall, right? They just want to be... Ryan Hall just wants to chase heel hooks, and this dude just wants to throw up triangles. That's pretty much all he does. But I will say, this is a Caio fight. Caio should win this fight, even if it goes to the ground. Like you said, Caio should be able to control those positions. We just saw Brendan Allen do it, right? I mean, he went to the ground with Paul Craig, didn't run into really too many issues. There was a little bit of a situation where he was underneath the neck of Paul Craig, and Paul Craig somehow got this weird calf slicer, putting pressure on his knee from back behind him while he's getting choked out, just wrenching on Brendan Allen's knee and got himself out of the choke. This dude, for his credit, is a fucking wizard on the ground. The only way that Paul Craig is going to win this fight is if he finds something on the ground. Why would you take him down? Why would you go to the ground with him ever? That's the only way he's going to win. He's not going to beat you on the feet. So if you're Caio, just don't go to the ground at all with this guy and you're going to easily win. But I believe that Caio is going to go to the ground. He just saw Brendan Allen do it. I can do that. And he probably can do it. But mistakes happen from time to time. Paul Craig does some wild, wacky shit on the ground that sometimes you're just not really training for. Caio should win this fight. Honestly, it should be easy. I do worry a bit, but that might be my bias for my lock of the week, Paul Craig.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I like I said, I can't put my finger on it. I don't know exactly what I don't trust about Caio. But there's just... Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I insist.
All right. Well, I don't know what it is I don't trust about him, but there is something I don't trust about him. But luckily, Paul Craig is his opponent, and he should blow right through him. Yes.
Here's what I'll say about this fight. I'm going to give something away here, and that's just, out of the goodness of my heart because I love you guys. I fucking love you guys. I don't believe that Caio is going to finish Paul Craig. I don't think he's going to do enough on the feet and on the ground. He's even as good as he is, he's not really a finisher. And Paul Craig on the ground is a hard guy to finish if you're not going to ground and pound. And Caio will put a body triangle on you and just fucking stay there the entire time. So I don't think he's going to finish Paul Craig. And if Paul Craig is going to win, I have to imagine it's going to be some wild fucking finish. I don't see him winning a fucking decision, out grappling Caio like he did Muniz before he found that finish. So there is Paul Craig inside the distance, decision no action. I fully expect Caio to probably win a decision. You're going to get your money back. It's plus 300 right now for Paul Craig. I think you throw a little bit. If you want to put action on Paul Craig, I think that's where your action should be, right? You get your money back if you lose a decision. If he does win, he's probably just going to win inside the distance. And, there's a good likelihood you're going to get your money back. You still get plus 300 odds for that. So that's my suggestion.
Those are surprisingly good. Those are better. Well, because they think he's going to get finished, I guess. Because those are surprisingly good odds.
Right. I don't think he's going to finish.
Yeah, Caio has finishes, but he's not exactly, he's not a savage beast. And he's perfectly happy. And I do appreciate about him. He's perfectly happy taking his time and grinding through a win instead of just chasing like crazy.
Right.
And that actually might be his savior here, because if he's chasing like crazy, he can end up in a weird position.
And he said he's going to, on the embedded, he said he was going to knock out Paul Craig, which means not wrestling, I guess. He didn't say I'm going to try and sub him like a lot of people. Oh, watch him, we can just sub on Paul Craig, bro.
Which he gets subbed. So it's not even like it's like insanely impressive. But either way, Jacob and I both very heavily on the Caio Borralho side. Do you think he's worth the $9,500?
No.
I do think there's some risk there, because if he is just going to end up striking, then he's nowhere near that $9,500. But if he does come in here and shoot a bunch of takedowns, get a bunch of control time, that is a different fight. I'm not going to do that risk. We have a couple fighters coming up that should be worth the money. If you do want to check out all the picks, the bets, the DraftKings optimizer, the artificial intelligence picks, the line movement tracker, the 38 columns of detailed data, metrics, and analytics that you can use to find your own spots, WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member at the top. It's freaking $10. It's $10. It is the best price point in this game with the biggest value in this game. It is not even close, and it's designed that way on purpose. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member at the top. Before you go, let me give you $50. Anybody who goes to WeWantPicks.com/bets and signs up with any one of our affiliate partners gets $50 as a thank you. Use the link, sign up, make a deposit. We send you $50 as a thank you.